nandito pa rin tayo sa Dayo Buhay OFW. And earlier, kasama natin ang mga healthcare workers natin na sila Abby and Nico. And now, we are interviewing the agencies that deployed Abby and Nico to their respective countries of workplaces. Joanne?
Alright, sila ang nagpadala kay Nurse Nico Alvarez sa Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. On Zoom with us is the Chairman and President of LBS Recruitment Solutions Corporation, Mr. Lito B. Soriano. Hi, sir!
Hi, good morning po sa ating mga viewers sa dalawang magandang host natin.
Thank you. Yes. Sila naman ang tumulong kay Nurse Abby Dalupe na makarating sa Hamburg, Germany. Say hello to the Marketing and Recruitment Manager ng Grand Placement Services Corporation, to Miss Joyce Young. Kumusta, Miss Joyce?
Good morning to you both, and thank you for inviting us here.
Hi, good morning to you.
Thank you, Lito and Joy. So would you like to give us a brief about your respective agencies, please?
Okay. Basically, Grant has been in the recruitment industry for 30 years, more than 30 years, I mean, and we've started with just sending workers to Southeast Asia, and then we expanded to the Middle East and also to the Western countries, and of course, we're always looking for new markets where we can deploy our workers, our Filipino workers, and right now we're into sending nurses into Germany.
All right, thank you for that, Joyce. How about you, Lito? Go ahead, please.
Well, LBS Recruitment has been in business since 2001. We have 3 divisions in our company that caters to medical workers. The other division is for general engineering, and the third division is for offshore workers. These are the workers that attend to maintenance and operations of oil rigs in overseas. So majority of our deployment actually are nurses. In terms of skills, 65% of our deploys are professionals, and only 7% are semi-skilled. So basically, we are fully concentrating on engineering and nurses positions.
I see. Would you still remember how many candidates have you deployed so far?
Well, for the past almost 18 years, we deployed about close to 15,000 workers to various parts of the world, mostly, majority of them to the Middle East, especially Saudi Arabia. And recently, we've been deploying to Australia, to Papua New Guinea, to South Korea, some part of Russia, and then majority now are in the Middle East.
All right. How about you, Miss Joyce?
For us, since we've been in the business for more than 30 years, I actually cannot count how many we've sent, but it would be roughly around 30,000 or more. And we sent to also different parts of the world, but most of our workers are sent in Taiwan as a factory worker. But meron din kaming sinesend ng mga professionals, especially mga healthcare, like I said earlier, sa Germany, and we also send it sa US, and also in some parts of the Caribbean islands, we've sent healthcare workers there too. And we have, our market is not really that big in the Middle East, but we have a few clients also in the Middle East as well.
Right. Thank you for that information, Joyce. From the long years of service to the industry, deploying Filipinos outside of the Philippines, would you have an idea of how many principals or employers you have served for the past how many years?
But we have made partners with different clients already, and some of them are still continuously with us, and of course we're trying to get new markets to also offer this job opportunities to our Filipino workers.
That's good to know. So you've been helping a lot of our fellow Filipinos and of course the employers. No, I'm pretty sure Lito has an idea of how many hundreds, maybe thousands of clients or employers, principals you've been servicing for the past years, Lito. I'm pretty sure ang dami
Well,
na, ang dami mo nang natulungan.
well, sa LBS, I've been to business since 30 plus years, but sa LBS Recruitment Solutions, probably we serve not more than 100 employers, and currently probably about 50 plus only. We are selective of our clients, and we always very sensitive of our ability to deliver and our turnaround time in delivering the service. So the more number of employees that you have, the lesser that you can deliver according to your standards. Kaya lang, we normally deal with large companies, especially publicly listed companies, multinational companies. And in Saudi Arabia, most of our clients are presidential awardees or ministerial awardees of our governments. That's the reason why it is also easy for us to recruit, because in the Middle East, these employers, these hospitals offers the best salaries and benefits, including yearly vacations, almost hotel-like accommodations. So most of these hospitals have been with us since 2005.
What do you think are the reasons why the OFWs choose you as their agency?
Well, Education LBS, we have the concept wherein we try to show to the workers that we are doing better than the other agencies. In fact, our motto is we do it better. No? That's one. And number two, we have, from the time the applicant applies, we initiate procedures that are driven by our own design system that try to create endearment relationship with our applicants. So from the time they apply up to the time that they are still working overseas, we are still in touch with our workers. You know? And as mentioned by Nico, during the, we would like to make the application journey of this applicant helpful and easy with LBS, and then we make sure that our staff has a wider smile than the others. They are more accommodating, they are more facilitative. And then when we deploy them, 48 hours after their arrival, they will receive a follow-up message from me, inquiring if the experience in the airport, especially in Saudi Arabia, has been okay, and the meet and greet people of our employers has been there on time, and then now is their accommodation as they arrive in the site are the same as we discussed during the pre-departure orientation seminars, and the contracts are the same, the benefits and the salaries. So again, after completion of the 90-day probation period, the system, the LBS, our advanced recruitment management system, will again send them a message inquiring if the provisions of the contract are accurately complied, and their situations in their accommodation are okay, including relationship with your fellow Filipinos and other nationalities. At the same time, the workers will, we also send messages to your families inquiring if there are information that the worker may have avoided to mention us for some other reasons. So we also monitor them. And thereafter, every 3 months, our recruitment management system will send them follow-up messages about the status of your employment and your day-to-day lives. Because as you know, Kay, and we have obligations to PUA that we should report within 5 days any significant happenings in the day-to-day life of our workers. So we try to do that by way of a technology that we have developed our own way to our another company under LBS, the LBS E-Business Solutions Corporation.
How about you, Ms. Joyce?
For us, I think, I guess number one is also our history, because we've been in the recruitment business already for more than 30 years now. So I think it's also how we also serve our applicants and also our clients, because we also choose then our clients. And of course, we want to make sure that when we deploy our workers abroad, that the clients will also take care of them. So from the recruitment, we of course try to screen them and also place them where they are, and also give suggestions as well, because there are some applicants, and I think most agencies would agree that they would apply for a position, but they're not really that qualified for that. So we suggest other positions that they can be qualified. And once they are selected, of course, we give them a full understanding of what they need to go through, especially the timeline. Actually, even before they apply, uh, we will mention to them kung how long it will take, kasi that's the number one question, how long can I be deployed? And some would like to be deployed quickly, and yung iba naman, they're willing to wait longer. Like si Miss Abigail waited for a year ata, di ba? So we have to discuss these things with them and if they're willing to push through or not. And of course, once they're already in our pipeline, we keep them updated as well on what's happening. And we just try to have an open communication with them, and also at the same time with the employer, because we always need to be updated kung ano yung mga kailangan gawin. And once they also arrive in the country of destination or the job site, we keep in touch, especially with our employer, because we want to make sure also that yung employer will meet them, or a representative of our employer will meet them, and then of course take care of them as well. So and if any case there's any problem, we always tell them that they can get in touch with us. And also we also ask our employers kung kinakamusta namin yung mga workers through our employers, because masyado silang marami, so we just ask our employers, so how's our workers doing?
How long has Grant Placement been a member of PASEI, and what do you think PASEI is able to provide Grant Placement as support or benefit?
I know that we've been a member of this association for a long time, and I think PASEI has offered a lot in terms of insights of the market, in terms of also parang hearing the voices of all the recruitment agencies as one, especially the one that we are now facing with the healthcare, And I think we're also able to, get to know other agencies and discuss also how they're doing and their struggles, and also probably even share a thing or two, how we can all, improve our business, and at the same time, help our kababayan, the Filipino workers who would really like to work abroad.
For that, Joyce. Tell us, Lito, what PASEI has helped you with. I mean, you were the past president of PASEI. I know you've done so many things. And what is it that you think PASEI has helped, not just your organization, but also the membership? How long have you been a member of PASEI?
Well, I was the president of PASEI in 1995-96, or 1994 to part 1996, something like that, no? And before that, I was the vice president. PASEI is the voice of the recruitment industry. In fact, I keep on telling our present directors and our presidents that PASEI always in front, not at the back, in terms of issues. And in fact, there were times when the government asked me when I was the president of PASEI, where are you, Lito? Where is your organization? Sabi na, I always tell them that we communicate in front of you. We tell you in terms of documents whenever there are issues that we need to be considered or settled. But honestly, also when we find that the voice of our industry is not heard by the government, we go to court. That's the reason why record PASEI has filed several cases versus the government, in the early 80s and 90s, questioning laws and regulations that were issued by the government. But before that, we always exhaust administrative remedies, talking to our government, explaining, documenting our positions very clearly to them. So far, PASEI was able to do that, and I hope we will continue doing that, especially now that we have problems with our healthcare workers. We should lead. We should show to our workers, because of part of our business, that we will not abandoning them. If you notice, I have to release a legal write-up last night to help our healthcare workers. So It's very helpful actually. It is the PASEI was able to drive a point to our government that we are the voice. PASEI is the voice of the industry.
You are an inspiration to us, the new, the new directors of PASEI, the new, I would not say the, well, maybe new generation, but you set the example. You're one of those pillars who set the example, and thank you for also thinking of how we can continuously help our fellow OFWs live better lives and have better opportunities for their and better livelihood for sure. John, anything else for them?
Yes, anything that you could share, advice, what are your secret ingredients, why you have been there in the industry for a long time?
Well, number one is probably on the issue of quality. To us in the overseas recruitment industry, despite the fact of we have facing so many problems, we always have to try to look inwards how best we are doing our business. Is the application journey or experience of our applicant is worth for them to remember even after they are deployed, even, especially when they have problems. Such that when they have problems on site, they will not look at the agency as another problem, but in fact a friend. So we try to do that, in our system as in LBS. So you can see it, the result. In our Facebook page, we have 1.1 million followers, and most of these are applicants and their families. And we follow also a high degree of transparency in our recruitment practice. And we have been an ISO certified since 2012. And our feedback mechanism, from the time an applicant apply, we monitor what they are saying about us. What does the workers say about our staff, including when they are deployed? We are asking them, can we learn more? Can you tell us what we failed to deliver? And even our employers, we send them feedback documents for them to fill out about our services. And to us, we treasure those negative feedbacks, those comments that tend to tell us, oh, you have been, your staff in this department has been failing. We failed to communicate clearly to us what we should have been doing to have been make our journey more important, something like that. So our listening capacity in LBS is we continue to really want to listen more. And in terms of innovation, we innovate a lot in LBS.
Interesting, John. I learned a lot from both of them, and they've been in the industry for so long.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's good to know about the things that they do for our industry, not just for our industry, but also our fellow Filipinos.
With the COVID-19 pandemic crisis crippling our overseas employment, we will know how our healthcare workers working abroad and their agencies coping up. We will hear their thoughts when we come back. Ito po ang Dayo Buhay OFW.
Welcome back to Buhay OFW. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagdalo. Dito po sa panahon natin ng pandemic ngayon, ang ating mga healthcare workers are in the front lines and taking care of sick people. So we want to find out how they are coping. We also want to find out how the other agencies or their respective placement agencies are coping with the pandemic and what lies ahead for the industry. And we're looking to get their insights now.
Sabay-sabay nating makakausap ang ating magigiting na nurses from Saudi Arabia na si Miko and from Germany na si Abby Dalope, together with our placement agencies.
And kasama rin natin ang mga service exporting agencies nila na si Mr. Lito B. Soriano ng LBS Recruitment Solutions Corporation at si Miss Joyce Yang ng Grand Placement and General Services Corporation. Welcome back po, everyone.
Miko, welcome back. You're a frontliner, no? You're a frontliner during this pandemic, and I just want to find out, meron bang mga additional benefits that you have na binibigay ng inyong mga kumpanya during this time?
When it comes to safety naman po, siguro on the safety side lang po, the company is always, or the hospital is always providing us the necessary personal protective equipment that we should use on a daily basis. And yun po, top priority, hindi po nawawala. When it comes to compensation naman po, they're giving the necessary amount that we are supposed to receive. Especially po nung nag-peak yung pandemic that we have to lock down the hospital, they're giving also the overtime for the nurses kasi talagang kulang yung manpower. And with that, I commend also my employer and the hospital as well for giving us the necessary compensation that we have to receive.
That's great to hear. How about you, Abby? Do you have any benefits or additional compensation during this time of the pandemic?
Yes po, aside po dun sa sinabi ni Sir Nico ng mga pagpaprovide na ng protective proper equipment sa amin, we also, sa sweldo po, we receive additional hazard pay, no? And then po yung mga nurses po na nag-cater talaga ng COVID-19 patients, they also receive a bonus of 1,500 euros. And then sa amin naman po sa hospital, aside po dun sa pagpaprovide nila ng proper equipment, we also have COVID-19 swabs regularly, and we don't have to pay for that po.
Well, it sounds like your employers are doing really well and doing really well by you, no? And how about your placement agencies? Do they still keep contact with you? Do you still get in touch with them? Do they provide any assistance during this pandemic?
Actually po, I received a message po nung sa ng COVID-19 from our sa German language school namin po, which is tandem po talaga din sa agency namin. And nangangamusta po sila. We also have yung mga staff po namin sa Grand Placement Agency, si Sir Abet, sa mga floor nangangamusta po sila parati kung okay po ba kami dito. And meron po kasi kaming international agency na nag-work po together with Grand Placement. So from time to time din po, nangangamusta po muna kami. So wala naman po problem doon.
That's really good to hear. How about you, Nico? Kamusta naman about your agency, your relationship with them?
For me naman po with the LBS, nung nag-peak po dito sa Saudi Arabia yung COVID, they gave us a message. Nabasa ko lang din po sa email, knowing that 4 years ago they have deployed me, knowing also na baka wala ng communication with my agency. But happy to know they are very much eager to know our situation. Actually si Sir Lito, si Ma'am Heidi, and si Ma'am Alma po, they're constantly communicating with us to update or give us an update kung ano yung mga nangyayari dito. Are we experiencing any problems? So they are very supportive naman po when it comes to that matter.
So it sounds like even the employers and the agencies are working together with the nurses, ano? So that's really good to hear. That's really good to hear.
All right, the next question is for Lito and Joyce. I would like you to answer how you are coping with what's happening, what's causing the industry because of this pandemic, business-wise, and also we all know that there are government-issued recruitment hogs, and likewise, how does it affect, how would you like to share how you're coping up with all of these challenges that the industry, your company is facing right now? Start with Lito and then Joyce, please. Thank you.
Affected kami dun sa ban ng deployment ng healthcare workers. No? In fact, we have about 200 who are stranded. Ito yung mga napili na dapat makalis, kaya nabutan ng lockdown. Nevertheless, we continue engagement through the government. LBS directly communicating with the POA Governing Board and to Administrator Bernard Bulalia. At the same time, through PASEI and other groups, including we are very much connected with different groups of nurses. However, in our other areas, we continue to deploy workers to our offshore clients. Hindi nga lang kasing laki because our offshore clients, ang kontrata ng mga workers na yan ay either 1 month or 3 months. So nagsisirculate lang. Those countries na walang ban ng travel, nakapagpalis pa naman kami. Kaya lang meron din kaming lugar wherein nag-terminate ng 90 workers yung employer. Natulungan na kung sila makauwi, ma-assist namin sila sa quarantine facilities dito sa Pilipinas. And of course, AUA was able to help them. So our experience during the COVID is quite okay. sa operational side, mayroon kaming strike force that are handling our online system. Real time, our response time sa Facebook is about 96% in 1 hour. Meaning, pag may nagtanong, may nag-follow up sa Facebook page namin tungkol sa anumang mga antas ng kanilang application, sasagot namin. Ganon din sa online system namin. Meron din kaming nakatalaga na mga staff na online na tumutulong sa mga nag-a-apply at saka yung mga nakapag-apply na para i-guide sila. Continuous din, yung verification namin sa employer kung ano nangyayari sa mga staff, sa mga na-deploy na namin, at saka ano pa yung mangyayari doon sa mga iniwan nilang mga job order na na-receive namin bago mag-COVID. Kukuhain pa ba nila? Are we going to continue our sourcing? Ang sabi ng mga employer namin sa mga hospital at saka sa offshore, tuloy pa. Kung ano yung mga bakanting iniwan namin sa inyo, you continue for sourcing. So we are doing that. In fact, meron kaming daily na online interviews sa mga nurse applicant namin. Very active yung online application system namin at may mga inaasikaso namin about any one of them that apply online. So sa staff naman, meron kaming continuing education sa staff, improving their capacities. And in fact, we have revised our operation manual and our quality manual in relation to probable new normal pagka-lift ng pandemic. So patapos na kami sa mga revisions namin sa operation manual sa LBS at quality manual, and then papunta na kami by middle of this month sa training ng mga staff, yung mga naiwan pa na staff namin na niretain namin. But basically what we did with our staff ay naka-work holidays sila. They are paid with half of their salaries and some are 70% of their salaries. So ganun ang sitwasyon namin sa LBS. Ang problema talaga ay malaki yung receivables namin dahil marami kaming employers na fly now, pay later sa mga employer. Walang placement fee yung mga workers, walang gastusin. In-advance namin lahat yung gastos except for the ticket, including medicals. And then babayaran kami ng employer. Kaya naabutan ng COVID. And sinasabi ng mga employer ngayon, medyo hirap din sila kasi apektado rin sila. So yun ang mga threats, problema na kinakaharap ng ating ng mga recruitment agencies na katulad ko, na yung ability natin to collect our fees that we advance ay problema itong COVID na to, sa panahon ng COVID.
How about you, Joyce? How are you coping with what's going on right now?
For grant placement, we're of course we're thankful that we're still open for one, and of course we are having a hard time then. We're affected in our operations as well, and yeah, and actually the deployment ban of healthcare workers has also affected us, not only for our German markets, but other markets as well, especially those that won't take a year to be deployed, no? So medyo affected din sila. And for us, we're coping with, of course, we are using technology talaga heavily right now. Like Sir Dito has mentioned with regards to the Facebook, ganon. And then, of course, yung email will not go away. So we are responding to our applicants who are interested. And unfortunately, nga lang, some of the borders are still closed, abroad. So we just really have to wait it out until it opens. And the good thing is that some of the employers are still, interested in hiring Filipino workers talaga. Although some of them are also opting to get other getting workers from other countries. Kasi, di ba, other countries are they're open to those other countries, kumbaga. So that's the reality of the effect of pandemic right now. And of course, we're also trying to help out with our employees. Internally naman, as much as possible, we'd like them to, continue with us. But at the same time, we're also giving them opportunities if they can do sideline businesses right now. Kasi online selling is also very rampant nowadays. So whatever helps, and whatever works also. And I think that's how we're coping. And at the same time, we're actively participating, yun nga, like sa PASEI, in terms of the voices of the recruitment agencies nga, be heard as one, so that we can help other Filipino. Of course, we can help more Filipino workers, especially the healthcare. Kasi hindi lang nurses yung affected. Because we're also sending, aside from nurses, we're also sending other healthcare workers. So, of course, sila rin affected sila with this deployment fund.
It looks like the best practices are there, no?
Yes.
I mean, the problems are there, the receivables.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is having some financial problems. But it seems that our partner agencies are taking the time to make this as a time for improvement, a time of engagement. Hindi pa rin tumitigil yung pag-engage sa mga kandidato. And and it's good to hear that the employment opportunities are still open. Naghihintay pa rin yung mga employers.
The industry is badly hit.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, the agency still try to help and continues to fund. Like Lito is advancing. We are advancing.
I think everyone is.
Yeah, so we continue to serve in spite of all of these challenges.
Yeah, so because of this, because of this pandemic, so many things have changed. We have moved into the new normal and we are all adjusting. So right now we want to hear from our nurses and our partner agencies if you have messages. And let's start with Nico. Do you have any parting words or parting messages to our nurses that are still here waiting for their deployment? May masasabi ka ba sa kanila?
Siguro no words to at least equalize the dedication and hard work of the nurses, not only the nurses but the medical practitioners or frontliners, and as well as the non-medical frontliners also. Siguro I would give them my all heartfelt salute to every one of them, because during this pandemic, we are being tested on how dedication would really matter and how we are going to take care for each one another to surpass everything. So I think thank you is not enough, but I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to everyone for giving their efforts kahit there are problems or challenges that is coming along their way. They're still moving forward and hoping that one of these days, malalampasan natin yung COVID and all of us will have a smile on our faces.
Thank you for that wonderful message, Nico. Abby has a YouTube channel, by the way, where she gives tips and all of that. So yes, Abby, share whatever you would like to.
Like what Sir Nico said, first, we are very grateful for all medical health workers dahil this COVID-19 pandemic really tested us. So we are now doing what's beyond our duty. So my message would be to just stay strong physically and mentally. Physically because syempre frontline, so mataas na yung risk na magkaroon din ng sakit. So we have to stay strong physically, eat well, sleep well, and also mentally, because I know we are here abroad and we are taking care of our patients, but also we are thinking of our families back in the Philippines, our relatives, and we are hoping that they are also well. And also I'd like to take this opportunity to promote my channel. It's actually to help our fellow nurses who want to work abroad. I created this tool so that they would have an idea on how to work here in Germany, so that hindi sila mapupunta sa agencies and that they will be guided step by step.
Thank you so much, Nurse Abby. Now it's the agency's turn to give their message. May we ask Miss Joyce to give her message of hope to our fellow PASEI members in this pandemic time. And next to speak is Mr. Lito Soriano to give his message to the government leaders to support the overseas placement industry.
Okay, I guess what we could say to our fellow PASEI members, know that of course, number one muna, before that, of course, everyone is hoping and praying that we can find a cure or a vaccine for COVID-19, and then we might go back to the normal, quote unquote, so pre-pandemic, diba? But for those PASEI members, I hope that all of us, we're all in this together naman eh. I mean, everyone has, we're affected by this. No, not only us, there are other industries also affected. So right now, I just want them to, not lose hope, stay strong, And I believe that there's always a way out of this, and perhaps this is just a season, because this is not really the first time that the world faced pandemic. History has proven that, and human beings have surpassed it time and again, and I hope that we will surpass this as well. But it might just take a little more time. Probably tomorrow may pandemic pa din, no? So probably next year we're looking at a better future for everyone.
Yes, Sir Lito?
Well, as a LBS, we are very active interfacing with our government. In fact, I wrote Secretary Bello 2 months ago about our need to be assisted, for our government to help us negotiate with government banks to provide us a bridge financing that is zero interest bearing or low interest. I also wrote Secretary Chua of NEDA of the same nature, that aside from other employment program for our repatriated OFWs, they will not complain sa mga agencies nila, is that unemployment mechanism should be extended to them, that you should be given priorities sa opportunities for the build projects of the government. In addition to that, I also requested a fund for helping the vital stakeholder of our overseas employment program, and look into in their forward planning to include the recruitment industry in reviving and retooling this overseas employment program. With respect to our internally, what I advise to our fellow members of PASEI is that continue to look inside. This is the best time for you to improve your operational manuals. What are your quality procedures that you should adopt when new normal comes in? What are the other things that you can help your workers? In the case of LBS, we extended loans to our staff so that they can engage into small businesses, and that's a way of making them feel that they're still a part of the company and they are very important component of LBS. So developmental dapat sana ang pananaw natin, and be patient. Yung mga workers natin, ngayon lang, I was able to talk to Secretary Bello and Secretary Admin Bernardo Lalia, proposing that LBS will submit a letter tomorrow wherein it will expand the coverage of the exemption on the healthcare workers, such that only those that are currently employed nurses will be covered by the ban until after they submit a resignation letter from their current employer that's about 3 months before proceeding overseas. So if this will be approved, as it was welcomed by Admin Olalia, then our problems sa recruitment industry sa PASEI, wherein most of our pending workers could be deployed. But now I would like to announce that PWA is willing to expand the exemption up to August 31 for those who are able to secure employment contracts to August 31. But I want a more expanded coverage. So it's a joint together. PASEI as an association should be there with us.
Well, thank you very much to our dear guests. Thank you, Nico Albores, and to Abby Dalope. Thank you. You are our heroes. Please take care and stay safe. We also want to thank our guests from the placement agencies, members of PASEI, Ms. Joyce Yang and of Grand Placement, and Mr. Lito Soriano of LBS. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. So huwag po kayong aalis. Babalik po ang Dayo Buhay OFW. So before we close, Madam Kay, Madam Joanne,
Yes.
ano po ang mga tumatak sa isipan natin during these episodes and during this discussion?
40 years of PASEI has been so inspiring for me. PASEI has been serving the industry for 40 years, which is good, helping the fellow Filipinos, helping the industry practitioners, working hand in hand with the government, basically to promote welfare, to promote livelihood. I am looking forward to the next 40 years.
And how about you, Madam Joanne?
Yes, Sir Jay. Yeah. For me, I'm very happy that a lot of us are still practicing ethical recruitment, and especially for this time of pandemic, na hindi talaga nila iniwan yung mga agencies natin na interview natin, hindi talaga nila iniwan yung mga candidates, ang mga OFWs After all, the OFWs are our bagong bayani.
Para sa akin, it was the healthcare workers. It was talking to Abby, it was talking to Nico, and hearing about yung experiences nila, how they are coping in this pandemic, how they have their work-life balance. And actually, yung message nila para po sa ating mga kapwa Pilipino na naghihintay pa ng deployment or parang during this pandemic maybe looking for opportunities that are still there. And their words of encouragement was really something for me that touched me.
Again, thank you very much to our guests who gave their time and insights to our first episode. I'm so looking forward to the next episode and our guests for our next episodes. Special thank you to our chairperson, Ms. Edwina Beach, and our president, Raquel Bracero. This is Kay Quintos, Vice President of PASEI. Thank you very much.
Watch out, next week we have a special guest, the POEA Administrator himself, Mr. Bernard P. Olalia. So, kaabang-abang po yun. So, my name is Joanne Zozobrado, President of CAMOX Philippines and Board Director of PASEI.
And ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng mga viewers who joined us today. If it's not too much, you can always watch this again afterwards o pwede niyo pong panoorin in our streaming site. You can look at it at our Facebook page or at www.pasei.com. And please, like us and follow us on Facebook. So ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa aking dalawang magagandang co-hosts. Ako po ay ang nag-iisang tinik dito po sa mga nagbumukadkad na bulaklak. My name is Jay Fernando. Ako po ay nagsisilbing Vice President and General Manager ng Magsaysay Global Services. And until next time, tandaan po natin, kaisa niyo po kami dito po sa Dayo Buhay OFW.